Good morning, friends. Today, I want to remind you of a powerful truth woven into the very fabric of our lives. What bad they give will receive tenfold. This principle isn't just a lofty idea, it's a reality that governs the way we live, interact, and experience life. The idea that what we give to the world comes back to us is a fundamental truth that transcends cultures, philosophies, and spiritual beliefs. This principle operates quietly but powerfully, shaping the outcomes of our lives in ways we often don't recognize until we reflect deeply. It's as if the universe has its own balancing system, ensuring that the energy we put forth, whether positive or negative, finds its way back to us, often amplified. Think about a seed planted in the ground. When you sow one tiny seed, you don't just get one seed back. Instead, that seed grows into a tree bearing fruit that holds countless more seeds. Our actions, attitudes, and intentions are like those seeds. Each time we make a choice, whether it's to help or harm, to build up or tear down, we plant a seed in the soil of life. The harvest we reap later will reflect the quality of those choices. When we act with kindness, generosity, and love, we set into motion a chain of events that draws those same blessings back to us. This isn't just an abstract concept, it's observable in everyday life. Consider people who go out of their way to encourage others, uplift their communities, or bring joy to those around them. Over time, they find themselves surrounded by opportunities, friendships, and abundance. It's not because of luck, it's the natural result of the energy they've sown. On the other hand, when someone operates from a place of selfishness, deceit, or anger, the same principle applies. Their actions create ripples that eventually return to them, often with greater force than they anticipated. The person who gossips about others becomes isolated because they've destroyed trust. The one who cheats in their dealings finds themselves constantly watching their back, trapped by the consequences of their choices. This principle isn't just about the actions we take, it's also about the intentions behind those actions. A kind gesture made begrudgingly or with ulterior motives doesn't carry the same weight as one made with genuine love and care. Life has a way of discerning our true motivations, and the results we experience will reflect the authenticity or lack thereof behind our deeds. There's also a transformative power in recognizing this principle. When we understand that life gives back to us what we put into it, we become more intentional. We start to think about the energy we're putting out into the world and how it aligns with the outcomes we desire. We realize that even small, seemingly insignificant acts can create a massive ripple effect, either for good or for harm. Ultimately, this truth is both humbling and empowering. It reminds us that we have far more control over the direction of our lives than we often realize. By choosing to act with integrity, love, and positivity, we set ourselves on a path where the blessings we receive far outweigh the effort we've given. The cycle of giving and receiving isn't just about fairness, it's about creating a life that reflects the best of who we are. Negative intentions have a way of weaving themselves into the fabric of our lives, creating outcomes far beyond what we might initially anticipate. While it's easy to think of a harmful act or a malicious thought as a fleeting moment, the reality is that these actions set powerful forces into motion. They don't simply disappear, they echo, grow, and eventually return to the source, often with greater intensity than imagined. When someone harbors ill intentions, be it jealousy, anger, deceit, or selfishness, they are planting seeds of negativity in the soil of their own lives. These seeds may take time to grow, but eventually they sprout and bear fruit. Unfortunately, the fruit is rarely what the person hoped for. An individual who chooses to manipulate or harm others may gain a temporary advantage, but over time they find themselves entangled in the web of their own making. Lies beget more lies, anger fuels further conflict, and betrayal leads to a breakdown of trust and relationships. One of the most insidious consequences of negative intentions is the way they create a cycle of harm. A person who acts out of spite or bitterness often inspires similar feelings in others. For example, someone who spreads gossip about a colleague might find themselves the subject of rumors in return. What begins as a small act of harm escalates, creating an atmosphere of distrust and animosity. Over time, the negativity takes on a life of its own, growing larger than the initial act that set it into motion. Moreover, negative intentions have a profound impact on the individual carrying them. They weigh on the mind and soul, creating a sense of unease and restlessness. Harboring thoughts of revenge or resentment can consume a person's energy, leaving little room for joy, creativity, or connection. It's often said that holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to suffer. The truth is, negative intentions do more harm to the person who holds them than to anyone else. These consequences aren't limited to emotional and relational damage. They can also manifest in practical ways. A person who builds a career by stepping on others or cutting corners might achieve short-term success, but the cracks in their foundation eventually become impossible to ignore. Clients leave, reputations crumble, and opportunities dry up. The energy of deceit or selfishness repels the very blessings that person might have hoped to attract. It's also important to recognize that negative intentions can limit growth and opportunity. When someone operates from a place of fear or bitterness, they close themselves off to the possibilities around them. A person consumed by jealousy might miss out on their own opportunities because they're too focused on what someone else has. Similarly, someone who consistently thinks the worst of others might find themselves isolated, unable to form the meaningful connections that lead to success and fulfillment. Ultimately, the consequences of negative intentions serve as a powerful reminder that the energy we put out into the world will always find its way back to us. Whether through damaged relationships, missed opportunities, or inner turmoil, the cost of negativity is always greater than the temporary satisfaction it might bring. Life operates much like a mirror, reflecting back to us the energy, attitudes, and actions we project. This principle is not just philosophical, it is evident in the way our relationships, opportunities, and circumstances tend to align with our inner state. When we view life through this lens, we begin to see how much power we hold in shaping our experiences. What we see in the world around us often mirrors what is happening within us, creating a direct connection between our mindset and the outcomes we encounter. When we approach life with positivity, hope, and kindness, those same qualities tend to reflect back in the people we meet and the situations we face. A person who radiates joy and encouragement often finds themselves surrounded by others who are drawn to their light. Opportunities seem to flow more freely and challenges feel less daunting because their inner strength attracts solutions and support. This isn't a coincidence, it's the mirror effect of life at work. Our outward experiences are shaped by the vibrations we emit, whether consciously or unconsciously. On the other hand, negativity, bitterness, and fear create a very different reflection. Someone who constantly expects the worst often finds their fears validated, not because life is inherently cruel, but because their outlook shapes the way they interact with the world. For instance, a person who believes others are untrustworthy may approach relationships with suspicion and defensiveness. This, in turn, prompts others to pull away, reinforcing the initial belief. It's a self-fulfilling cycle, fueled by the reflection of what they project. The mirror effect also reveals itself in the way people treat us. How we carry ourselves, our self-respect, confidence, and compassion sets the tone for how others respond. If we treat ourselves with dignity and kindness, others are more likely to follow suit. Conversely, if we approach life with self-doubt or hostility, we may find those same attitudes reflected in the way people engage with us. Life echoes what we believe about ourselves, amplifying either our strengths or our insecurities. This principle extends to how we handle challenges. When we face difficulties with resilience and a mindset focused on growth, the mirror reflects solutions, strength, and opportunities to rise above. However, if we respond with defeat or resentment, we may find ourselves stuck in a cycle of setbacks. Life doesn't create these obstacles to punish us, it simply mirrors the energy we bring to the situation. Understanding the mirror effect of life empowers us to take responsibility for our experiences. It challenges us to examine the energy we're projecting and make intentional choices about the attitudes and actions we cultivate. When we see the world as a reflection of ourselves, we realize that change doesn't start externally, it begins within. By shifting our focus, aligning our thoughts with positivity, and taking intentional steps toward growth, we can transform the reflection life offers us into one that reflects joy, success, and fulfillment. Breaking the cycle of negativity is a deliberate and transformative act that requires both awareness and intentionality. Negativity has a way of perpetuating itself, feeding on the energy we give it and creating a ripple effect that impacts not just our own lives, but also the lives of those around us. It's like a storm cloud that lingers, growing darker and more ominous unless we take steps to dispel it. Breaking free from this cycle is not easy, but it is entirely possible, and the rewards are profound. The first step in disrupting negativity is recognizing its presence. Often, negativity creeps in quietly, disguising itself as justified frustration, fear, or even humor. It may manifest in the way we speak, the thoughts we entertain, or the way we interpret the actions of others. Awareness is key. When we can identify negative patterns in our thinking or behavior, we gain the power to change them. This might involve noticing how often we complain, focus on problems instead of solutions, or assume the worst about people and situations. Once we've identified the negativity, the next step is to make a conscious choice to respond differently. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending that everything is perfect. Rather, it means choosing to approach life with a solution-oriented mindset. Instead of dwelling on what's wrong, we can ask ourselves what can be done to make things better. Instead of reacting with anger or bitterness, we can choose patience and understanding. These small but significant shifts in perspective disrupt the momentum of negativity and create space for positive change. Another powerful tool in breaking the cycle of negativity is practicing gratitude. Gratitude shifts our focus from what's lacking to what we already have. It trains our minds to see the good, even in difficult circumstances. When we take the time to acknowledge our blessings, whether it's the support of loved ones, the beauty of nature, or the opportunities we've been given, we replace feelings of resentment or dissatisfaction with appreciation. Gratitude not only transforms our inner state, but also influences the energy we bring into the world, inviting more positive experiences into our lives. It's also important to surround ourselves with positivity. Negativity often thrives in environments that reinforce it, whether through toxic relationships, media consumption, or habitual thought patterns. By seeking out people who uplift and inspire us, engaging with content that encourages growth and optimism, and cultivating habits that promote well-being, we create an atmosphere where negativity struggles to take root. Forgiveness is another essential element in breaking the cycle of negativity. Holding on to grudges or harboring resentment keeps us trapped in the past, perpetuating a loop of anger and hurt. Letting go of these burdens is not about excusing harmful behavior, but about freeing ourselves from its grip. Forgiveness allows us to move forward, unshackled by the weight of negativity. Ultimately, breaking the cycle of negativity requires consistent effort and self-compassion. It's a process of choosing day by day to align with hope, love, and possibility. Each positive choice weakens the hold of negativity, creating a life that reflects peace, joy, and resilience. Forgiveness and grace hold a transformative power that can break chains, mend wounds, and bring peace where there was once turmoil. These qualities are not signs of weakness, but profound strengths that have the ability to change the course of our lives and relationships. Forgiveness is not about condoning wrongs or pretending pain doesn't exist. It is about releasing the grip of resentment and choosing to let go of the burden that keeps us tethered to negativity. Grace, on the other hand, is the ability to extend kindness and understanding even when it is undeserved, offering others the compassion we hope to receive in return. When we forgive, we free ourselves from the control of past hurts. Holding on to anger or bitterness may feel justified in the moment, but over time it becomes a weight that drags us down. It saps our energy, clouds our judgment, and prevents us from fully living in the present. Forgiveness is the act of setting ourselves free, releasing the power that pain has over us. It's a decision to stop replaying the offense in our minds and to focus instead on healing and moving forward. This act doesn't erase the past, but it does change how we carry it into the future. Grace works hand in hand with forgiveness. It is the unmerited favor we extend to others, even when they've hurt us. Grace allows us to look beyond the offense and see the humanity in the person who caused it. It reminds us that none of us are perfect and that everyone is capable of making mistakes. By choosing to respond with grace, we create an opportunity for reconciliation and growth, both for ourselves and for the other person. Grace doesn't excuse harmful behavior, but it opens the door for understanding and change. Forgiveness and grace also have a profound impact on our relationships. When we hold on to grievances, they can fester and create barriers between us and those we care about. Forgiveness breaks down those barriers, allowing trust and connection to be restored. Grace, meanwhile, fosters a culture of kindness and patience within our relationships. It sets the tone for how we treat others and how we hope to be treated in return. These qualities are the foundation of healthy, lasting relationships. Moreover, the power of forgiveness and grace extends beyond our interactions with others. It also applies to how we treat ourselves. We all carry regrets, mistakes, and moments we wish we could take back. Offering ourselves forgiveness and grace is crucial for personal growth and self-acceptance. It's a reminder that our worth is not defined by our failures, but by our willingness to learn and improve. Ultimately, forgiveness and grace are acts of courage and love. They require us to let go of the desire for revenge or retribution and to embrace a higher path. When we choose to forgive and extend grace, we create space for healing, peace, and the possibility of a brighter future. These acts not only transform our relationships, but also bring a deep sense of freedom and joy to our own hearts. Living with purpose and integrity means aligning your actions with your values and staying true to the principles that define who you are. It is a way of life that goes beyond simply existing. It is about embracing a clear sense of direction and making choices that reflect honesty, kindness, and authenticity. When we live with purpose and integrity, we create a life that is not only fulfilling but also impactful, leaving a positive legacy for those around us. Purpose gives our lives meaning. It provides a sense of focus and motivation that drives us to pursue goals, contribute to the world, and overcome challenges. Without purpose, life can feel aimless and unsatisfying, as though we are merely going through the motions. But when we connect with what truly matters to us, whether it's our family, career, faith, or community, we begin to live with intention. Every decision becomes an opportunity to move closer to our goals, and every action takes on greater significance. Purpose gives us the resilience to navigate difficulties because we know our efforts are part of something bigger. Integrity, on the other hand, is the moral compass that guides us in living out our purpose. It means being honest and consistent in our words and actions, even when it's inconvenient or when no one is watching. Integrity requires us to honor our commitments, treat others with respect, and make decisions that reflect our values rather than our impulses. It's about doing the right thing not for recognition, but because it aligns with who we are. When purpose and integrity come together, they create a powerful foundation for a meaningful life. Living with purpose ensures that we are working towards something that resonates deeply with us, while integrity keeps us grounded and trustworthy in the pursuit of those goals. This combination attracts respect and admiration from others as people recognize the authenticity of someone who is committed to their values. It also builds self-respect as we become proud of the person we are becoming. Living with purpose and integrity also brings clarity and peace. Decisions become simpler because they are guided by a clear framework of values. We are less likely to feel pulled in conflicting directions or overwhelmed by external pressures because we know what matters most. This clarity helps us prioritize and stay focused, even when distractions arise. Moreover, living this way impacts not just our own lives, but also the lives of those around us. When we live with integrity, we inspire others to do the same. Our commitment to honesty and fairness sets an example that encourages others to hold themselves to higher standards. And when we live with purpose, we contribute positively to the world, whether through our work, our relationships, or the causes we support. Ultimately, living with purpose and integrity is about being true to ourselves and the values we hold dear. It requires effort and consistency, but the rewards are immeasurable. This way of life leads to deeper fulfillment, stronger relationships, and a lasting sense of pride in the person we choose to be. In conclusion, life is a reflection of what we choose to give, and the principles of reciprocity, intention, and integrity guide the outcomes we experience. When we act with kindness, forgiveness, and purpose, we create a ripple effect that transforms not only our lives, but also the lives of those around us. The energy we project, whether good or bad, returns to us multiplied, shaping our relationships, opportunities, and inner peace. Choosing to rise above negativity, extending grace even when it's difficult, and living with unwavering integrity are the keys to breaking cycles of harm and building a life of fulfillment and abundance. These actions aren't just noble ideals, they're powerful tools that empower us to take control of our destiny. They allow us to replace resentment with peace, stagnation with growth, and despair with hope. Let us move forward with the understanding that every action, thought, and choice carries significance. By embracing forgiveness, grace, and purpose, we can create a life that not only reflects our highest values, but also inspires others to do the same. The world will mirror back to us what we give to it. So let us give our best love, kindness, and hope and watch as it returns to us tenfold. Thank you.